Archman, it's Grandpa Kev. I'm coming to you from Idaho, which is a state in the Pacific Northwest. Oregon, Washington, Idaho, those are prime Bigfoot areas, okay, of the United States. And today, our friends Linda and John are hosting us on a Bigfoot expedition in the Idaho mountains. You can barely see over here on the horizon the mountains we're gonna go into. Dude, that is Squatch country is what that is. We're going to be using these BEVs. They're called a BEV, B-E-V. This is a Bigfoot Expedition vehicle. And we're going to take this bad boy up into those mountains and we're going to see what we can find out. I'm pretty optimistic because I feel like we're in a good area here. So Arch, it's been scientifically established that Bigfoots and beavers are in competition with each other for habitat. A lot of leading scientists think that it's because Bigfoots are very elusive. They like to hide around trees and stay in the forest where there's trees. Well, beavers cut down trees, so scientists think that Bigfoots, they don't like that in their neighborhood. So this is actually the remains of a beaver dam. And at one point, this beaver dam made a really big pond right here that our friends Linda and John used to bring their dogs down to play in. But a Bigfoot has actually came in here, probably a group of them, and just ripped out the whole side of this beaver dam to allow the water to flow and also discourage the beavers from cutting down more trees. Alright, so we're getting farther up into Squatch country here. So Arch, we're on the very top of the mountain range, and hopefully you can see these mountains out here. Way off in the distance you can see some snow-capped mountains. Like right there. That's some snow on that one and that one. And then way out there there's some snow. In late June, so it's really high in the mountains. But right now, Grandpa Kev is on an old Bigfoot research station. This belonged to the Forest Service. It still does. But they use this to do some research up here about Bigfoots. And this was their transmitting tower, so they could transmit pictures or videos back to their base down in the bottom. It's not used anymore, so it's kind of chained up here. But you can see how there was a couple of researchers that actually lived up here. This is the pinnacle of the mountains right here, the top of them. I'm sure there's a lot of Squatch activity around here. Going to believe this, but I think there's been a Squatch through here overnight. There's some stuff here that indicates that maybe a juvenile Squatch has been here and pooped right here, or they might have been chasing a deer. But look at this, Squatch prints in the mud. It was walking through here. So it was probable that they came up to the tower and then they walked through here to get back into their territory over here. So Arch, this is a good example of a large or sustaining food source for Squatches. Bigfoot eat, they're omnivores, so they eat vegetables, leaves, parts from trees, but they also eat meat. So This is the remains of a deer. This is a deer back with some ribs coming off of it. This shows they have an ample supply of food here. All kinds of mammals like deer and, you know, things like that. So this is good evidence here. What we're going to try to do, I feel like there's some squatches in this area, so I'm going to try to communicate and see if we can get a communication going with one. Primarily, you can use two different ways. We're going to strike this tree because they like to do tree strikes to communicate long distance, okay? So we're going to try that first. Okay, I don't hear anything on that. Now I'm just going to try a squatch call, okay? I could have sworn. Holy crap, let's go. This is evidence here. A lot of times a mature Sasquatch gets territorial. There's never been any documented injuries or deaths to humans in the North American continent from a Bigfoot, but they get really territorial. And they'll try to mark their territory in different ways. What we've got here, Meg, you might want to come over here so you can get an overall view of this. This is really good evidence. They will push a big old pine tree over across these roads to try to curtail people from coming up here on their UTVs and their trucks and stuff. So obviously a squatch knocked this tree over, and here's the other end of it. And then what that forces the Forest Service to do is they have to come in here and with chainsaws and cut these and move them out of the roadway so that people can still come up here and have recreational fun. So this is a big squatch because there's the root wad of this pine tree. That's a big tree. So there's definitely a mature Bigfoot around here.